One morning, Bill put on his leather waistcoat and filled its pockets with essential items he might need for a trip. Then, he and his companions set off across the downs. Suddenly, they came upon a gold crown protruding from a pile of hay. Slowly, the crown began to rise, revealing the head of a king firmly fixed to its underside. "What do you want?" said the grumpy old monarch. "We wondered why you're hiding out here on the downs." "If any of you are a bit softish, you had better cover your ears, for my story is a harrowing one. I was such a successful king, my kingdom became immensely rich. As their prosperity grew, my subjects raised their poor old king to an increasingly exalted position. Heavier and heavier grew the robes of state until I could hardly support them. I was now compelled to remain on my throne day and night. Except, of course, for an hour in the morning when I performed my ablutions in the royal bathroom. My subjects held me in such awe they would no longer visit me. How I miss the old days. The homely games of dominoes with my ministers, the leisurely cups of tea with my Secretary of State. I was as lonely as a limpet in the Sahara. One night, after the palace was asleep, I had a visitor. It was my Prime Minister. I was so happy to see my old friend, a huge tear fell from my eye, and as he bowed before me, it splashed on his bald ministerial head. "Follow me," he whispered. In silence, we traversed the terrace, crossed the tennis lawn, stepped over the rhododendron beds, and found ourselves in the kitchen garden. There stood an old hen house. Inside were my Minister of Education and the Secretary of State playing dominoes. I immediately joined them. We caught a plump chicken and cooked it and drank endless cups of tea. Suddenly, the old cock reminded us that dawn was breaking, and I was hurried back to my throne. Every night was the same. We forgot the burdens of state, roasted a fat chicken, and abandoned ourselves to the heartiest revelry. And every morning, we were awakened by the old cock. One night, we met as usual. But to our dismay, we discovered that we had eaten all the chickens. Except, of course, for the old cock. After much discussion, he went the same way as his companions, and we were soon absorbed in our games of dominoes. How long we would have played is impossible to say, for we had eaten our only timepiece. We were suddenly brought to a standstill by a knock at the door. My subjects, finding my throne vacant, had been guided by the sounds of revelry to the hen house. I was so embarrassed at my appearance, I hurried from my kingdom, and I have hidden myself here on the downs ever since. Boadicea brushed away the feathers and the droppings from his beard and said, "There, now you can go back to your kingdom." The tired old king said, "I am too tired and old to move." "Then we'll take you," said Bill. And he constructed a wonderful chair in which to transport him. "When you're ready to leave, just ring the bell," said Chad. And he did. and they left on the strangest journey Bill had ever dreamed of. Bill led the way, while Boadicea looked after the old man. His comfort was now her greatest concern in life. Chad plotted their progress on a pocket atlas of the world